We've bought a new field, a new combine, and a header, so you might be thinking we're ready to start harvesting. If only it were so simple. We're almost there, and we will be harvesting, but there's still a few pieces of the harvesting puzzle we need to get in place. The first step is to make sure our extra wide header fits on the combine. It should, or at least I think it should. Yes, it fits. Now to get this whole piece of machinery back to the farm. I did a quick test down at the ferry and it kind of, sort of, almost fit. I think I could have forced it over the guardrails to get it onto the ferry, but what I was really concerned about is getting it off. If it got stuck, well, it would have been a mess getting it off there, or at least a reset of the equipment and following another route around, so we'll just go another way. Now this journey, largely accidentally, took me the longest way around the map possible. I actually missed a turn I should have taken. I figured all would be fine though, and maybe I'd run into less cars. Now don't get me wrong, it was a pleasant drive through the countryside, until I ran into the bridge I couldn't cross. So after upsetting a school bus driver and the UPS man, we took a little cross-country travel to another narrow bridge, but this time with a little bit of scraping across the top of the rails, we made it. From here, I could see the farmer's market and it was home sweet home. I think the combine will need the purchase of another shed, but for now, we'll cozy it up with the Anderson. The wheat won't be ready to harvest until July, and I'm dying to use this new piece of equipment. But the field isn't ready, and we're not ready. There's things we have to do first to get it ready. Our goats are getting desperate for water with under 150 liters left in their trough, so we'll get the tanker hooked up and take care of our animals. Each goat pen already has 3 full pallets and a partial pallet, and at $3,000 a pallet, that's good milk. We'll drop the tanker off this time at the mushroom house and call it quits for the day. July is harvest day, but we have no trailer properly configured to haul the grain, no silo to put it in, no money to buy the silo, so we've got some work to do. But it's worthwhile just to take a moment and admire our wheat field. We've worked long and hard for this. You can tell me the joke now about what a farmer is. A man outstanding in his field. We started the day early here at 5:30, just a couple hours before the silage is ready to sell. We'll be using the silage sale to fund the silo. So rather than wasting the morning, we'll at least get our grass cut and baled. We've done a lot of grass work in this series, but realistically, it's been the mainstay of the entire farm. We started with just a single narrow strip of land with a bank loan to buy a tractor, mower, and small trailer. Then we had to lease everything else, the baler, the wrapper, the roller, and we were barely eking out a profit on about a dozen small bales. But just look at where we've come. 6 total grass fields, 3 of them combined into one, over 40 bales being reliably produced, and we own all our own equipment to work the grass. Looking back, it feels like quite the achievement. And now, in terms of field work, we're on the cusp of arable crops and turning a nice annual profit. Let's put the mowers away and move on to the next step, the baling. Not only do we still have time before the silage is ready, but I've learned that leaving the bumpy rows of grass around while I'm trying to load the silage on the trailer just doesn't work very well. So we'll get the grass baled up and out of the way. Okay, so that's pretty much all the grass. We have a partial bale in the machine, and what I'd like to do is get that grass cleared so we can bale our straw after the harvest. The wheat will put out a swath of straw that we can use or sell for a little extra money. So we'll just use the front mower and go around and get a few extra bits. That didn't take much, and it's made me greedy. I'm going to continue mowing up some of the little bits and pieces and see if we can't get another bale. We got it. 43 bales in all. Yes, we forgot to reset the bale counter again until after we ejected our first bale. You should probably lay a bet in the comments to see if I'll do it 3 times in a row. Speaking of bales and grass, let's talk about the goats. I've been feeding the goats our baled grass, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe they fixed the meadow grass issue with it not regenerating no matter how much of our own grass they have available. I'd like to test that. I think I might let the goats run out of bales and let them start eating the meadow grass for a bit. Then, after some of the meadow grass is gone, start feeding them our bales again and see if the meadow grass grows back, assuming it's a growing month for grass. It's time, though, to attack the silage bales and get them sold. They are the ticket to getting a silo and some other things we need for harvest. That was about the smoothest job of loading and selling bales we've had. No accidents, no weirdness. Let's drop in these last 2 and look at the total. A little over 47,000, plenty for the silo I want, with enough left over to do all the other small things that are needed, but hadn't exactly figured into the harvest. Until now. What I need next is to rent a stump grinder and remove the couple stumps where I want to put the silo. I'll remove a few others around the property, but I really don't want to get into a whole stump clearing exercise. I want to harvest my wheat. But we have to do this at minimum to place the silo, so we'll clear what I can find here. I should have prepped the area better by mowing it or something, but we'll at least get rid of the ones that'll cause us an issue with the silo and any future silo. Now, in terms of silo choice, I could get the more affordable red one or the more expensive brick one. They hold the same amount of product, but I'm treating ourselves to what I think is the better looking brick one. I'll place that where it should be easy enough to access and still give us room to place an extension or a couple other silos next to it. What I'll also do is extend a little extra asphalt around the silo to help blend it into the area and make it look more natural. There, let's take a look. Yes, that's magnificent. I hope the little light comes on at night. I'm very pleased with the extra money for the brick choice. Sometimes you just gotta do that extra little thing, you know? Let me hit a couple more stumps on the farm, then return the stump grinder. That's good enough. The last thing we have to do for our harvest is work on our trailer so it'll hold grain. As long as we're going over to the store, I'll put on the pallet fork and we'll bring back another pallet of baling twine at the same time. We used up the last of the pallet on that last round of grass, so we might as well have some in stock. This small trailer has served us so well, and it's going to continue to serve us for a little while longer. What we're going to do is hit up the tractor for some repairs and pay a little extra to convert our trailer to a crop hauler with the highest size available. It's the first time we've had the trailer in this configuration, and even though it's small, it still holds 8,000 liters, a respectable amount. We'll buy the baling twine at the store for a reasonable $1,200, then get it scooped up and back to the farm. Let's drop the twine off back behind the baler, and now it's time for harvest. It's funny how there was all these little fiddly bits we needed to do after buying the harvester to be able to actually harvest, but it was worth it. The Massey Ferguson is on the move. Let's try our little bridge crossing. No problem. I'll start at the top of the field for its first pass. We're off. Wheat is going in, and the combine is filling up nicely. Just look at all the pulleys and mechanisms working. It's very satisfying. There's the auger, moving up the grain into the hopper. Everything there seems to be working. Let's look at the header. Yes, it's just pulling all the wheat together and into the machine for processing. Perfect. What I'm also seeing is that we're really only going to get once around the perimeter before having to unload. So I'm glad I converted the trailer and got it ready to do some carting. All right, our first overload into the trailer. Just look at that beautiful wheat. Okay, our combine holds 8,000 liters like our trailer, so it's a 1-to-1 every time the combine is full. This one field of wheat isn't going to make us rich, but we'll get it harvested and see how much we got. Okay, here's the last bit of wheat for the silo. And just because we can, let's use the grain door to unload. We have the option on the trailer, so let's use it. All right, 27,500 liters of wheat. And we can easily get over 30,000 in wheat off that field after we add lime. We are by no means done with the field though. We've got to get a cultivator and cultivate it, get a seeder and plant seed, probably get a weeder and weed it, and fertilize the field twice. In the next episode, I foresee a pile of new equipment coming into the farm to start working arable crops. See you in the next episode for our selections.